Hello there, and welcome to Thoughts on Thursday, where we meet every Thursday to share our thoughts about all kinds of things, mainly metaphysical, paranormal, esoteric, and sometimes just plain silly. So, welcome everybody. If you're joining us on YouTube, please click like and subscribe, leave comments. We love to hear from you.
Great. Sounds good. Thanks, Mary. Want to continue on or you want to turn it over?
Uh, I'll turn it over to you because it was your idea today.
Mary and I are both kind of co-hosting today since Chelsea's not here. Oh,
Hmm.
here comes Julie. Julie, I just want to introduce you to Diana, our new guest today.
Hi, Lee. Hi.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
So our topic is what I sent everybody. It's like, what do you want to focus on? What do you want to keep front and center in your life? And how do we kind of just ignore or bypass or deal with all the kind of noise that's out there bombarding us constantly.
Mhm.
Um, and what brought this up for me was I heard a couple people mention that, and we're not really talking about a lot of political stuff, but this is just part of it. That what's happening in our world today is, things are going to kind of fall apart, and then it will give us the opportunity to rebuild and start afresh. And it was good for people to think about, what do you want to see? How do you want this world to be when when as we're emerging and when we finally emerge? So I thought, well, we could do this not only around the politics, but just life in general. And as we all know, we're all kind of connected and everything is interwoven. And so let's just bring this to the greater whole. So, okay, go ahead, Anka.
Hello. Um, I want to say that I want to, in principle, I want to be motivated by the people and facts about them that are deep put in themselves and to change what needs to be changed, to be real, euphoric, and amusing, to be a good human in the people's life, to be in the present, to receive money for all of this, and to receive recognition for what I can do good. That is what I want to keep, to be hard working, and even if all the best yet not came, to not lose the hope and joy. That is central and in front with what I started.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I could tell that was heartfelt. And I think that,
I really
yeah, that's a good thing to focus on.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like here we are all again on planet Earth for a reason. And it is almost like being in a constant obstacle course. You're always jumping over things and avoiding things and trying to concentrate on the, the goal, whatever that is for each of us. And sometimes we're sidetracked by, oh, I want to be this good person who gives and gives and gives, but I need money for that. So I better concentrate on money for a while. And these little things take you off the track when every gift we need is already in us. But we think that these little, what's like flashing ads on the internet, like, oh, look over there, look over here. And it's hard and it's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, we wouldn't be learning anything. So what I want is to just be able to first know what my best action is and to be able to stick with it. That's what I want.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I think the way you described it, the obstacle course makes so much sense.
Mhm.
So, yeah, thanks, Bear. Gino, go ahead. You got your hand up.
I see Anka's share as a very broad share, what she wants in life, what she aspires to, and that she wants to learn, she wants to be happy, she wants to be able to make a good living, and I think she wants to be popular too. And that's okay. But I think she wants to contribute. That's like the main thing that I got from that share. I thought that was beautiful. So what I've been doing in the last 3 weeks, maybe, on Gaia, I saw an interview of a man named RJ Spina. I'm not sure if any of you know who he is. A remarkable person who actually 9 years ago was in the hospital, completely paralyzed, completely, it just happened. He had diabetes, he had all kinds of things. And while he was there going through all this and the pain and agony and everything, the doctors operated and did all this stuff. And finally, they told him, there is absolutely nothing that you can do. You're going to be a paraplegic for the rest of your life and that. So one day he was talking to the nurse and he said, I am going to be walking out of here in 100 days. And she said, no, you can't do that. She says, I've been working here for 20 years. No paraplegic has ever walked out of here. And he said, well, what does that have to do with me? I thought that was so great, right? So I read all 4 of his books, been watching lots of his videos, and his whole take is, we're talking and feeling this every day about what's going on in the world and in our personal lives as well. And, we want to be able to focus and all that. And it's difficult. Like you said, Mary, all these things are all over the place. And so the training with RJ Spina is more of not higher consciousness, but what is called, that he calls super consciousness, where you can rise above all of that stuff, because all that stuff is stuff we have learned to do, learn to believe, learn to say, learn to take in. And it's absolutely exciting what he teaches. So, and I'm going to leave in the chat an interview that he did. In fact, I just saw it today, so you might like that. But that's the whole thing, to not cave to all the stuff that we've been taught since we came out of the womb.
Mhm.
And it goes on and on and on and on in every area of our lives. So anyway, that's what my thoughts are. I would like to get to that level of consciousness where I can cure my own ills, heal myself, be happy like Anka wants to be happy, contribute to people more because I feel good again, all that good stuff. That's it.
Thanks, Gino. Okay, that sounds good. I want to write what Billy wrote. Keep the hope and joy. I love that. Yeah, I do too, Billy. Thanks. So
Thanks for sharing the RJ Spina, Gino. That sounds really like something I'd want to read or listen to. Yeah. It looks like
You're
he has
welcome.
books. Yeah.
So did he actually get up and walk out of the hospital in 100 days?
He did.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing what we
Yeah.
can do. We put our minds to it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is shedding the old patterns and figuring out how to do that. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
Tina, I see you raising your hand.
The busyness of the world drove me crazy for most of my life. I could not handle it. I didn't understand it at the time. And so I think for me, the generosity, I've always been generous, but it never made me happy. And because there was a fundamental dysfunction going on underneath. And now I'm learning I can be generous, but I need to be generous to myself. And the thing that I do is I can't quite handle everything out there. It's too hectic, it's too busy, it's too noisy. I spend an enormous amount of time in solitude, and I find it very nourishing. And last week I mentioned I'm not shooting myself the way I used to, which was a constant, perpetual, daily, oh my God, I should do this, I should do that. Oh, I should have said this. I should look like this. I need to lose 10 pounds, on and on and on. And I have finally flipped the script. It's okay. I don't want to be around people. Barb knows this. I'm a solitary individual, and I've never been happier. I'm reaching a place that finally I accept that particular aspect of my being, which everybody my entire life railed against. You should get out more. You should make more friends. Why don't you go to the neighborhood party down the street? When I was taking care of my mom, she would tell me every month when the neighborhood party. I'd go to please her and I'd be back in 20 minutes. And, the obligation that we have to ourselves, to be true to ourselves, is just simply one of the most challenging obligations to fulfill. To know ourselves and to say, it's okay. You don't look exactly like you wanted to look. Your life isn't exactly blah, 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 blah. It's endless until I finally said, enough. I'm done. I'm going to flip it and start to just look at it all differently, which has little by little made me increasingly more at ease, at peace with my life, and at peace with my being, with me. So that's that for me.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And that's doing exactly what Gina was talking about as far as flipping that script that we've been, heard our whole life and we believe is true. And then you finally realized, oh, that's not true. That's not me. That's not serving me. And yeah, it's not that easy to do, but it is helpful. So, and I think, getting back to our focus on all that is, it's being able to step back from this finite being that we all get so caught up in and realize, there's so much more, the picture is really bigger.
I think there's also a duty, maybe not a duty, but it's a good idea to recognize that we live in more than one world. And to bring our serene world with us wherever we go. And that's how I picture people like Dalai Lama, that he brings that with him. He never steps out of that atmosphere that he's fortunate to bring with him. I'm sorry, I think I should have gone to you first, Jorin.
No, I think we kind of had a thought at the same moment, so it's totally fine. Yeah, the chaos is difficult right now for sure. And I think this is a great topic. And just as an example of the chaos, for me, it's all coming down to all these imaginations colliding. Everyone's imagining something, some of it's violent. Even down to the Dalai Lama, there are a large number of people who have evidence that the Dalai Lama has a pedophile problem. So it's, and maybe he does. I don't know him. That's the thing. I can't be traumatized by that because I don't know him. They might be right. And even with the assassinations that happen, the imaginings, we call them conspiracy theories. Some people think that these people were killed before and that there's somebody wearing a mask and that the assassinations are faked and they have videos of fake blood spurting. And I mean, so y'all know what I'm talking about. It creates chaos when you listen to this because who knows what people are imagining. It's all true to them. So it's true for me. Which brings me to, I always land on Divine Feminine because we need it. And you can Google Divine Feminine. There's like 40 different words and qualities that meet the Divine Feminine category. So more and more, I'm cultivating that. for myself.
Yeah.
And specifically creativity, I am very specifically just writing my own story about whatever I feel happened to somebody or about somebody. Because apparently that's what we all get to do. Yeah, and it's hard to toggle between ignoring the stuff that I don't want and having compassion for the help that's being asked for. And I feel the biggest help that I can provide is just to create and cultivate divine feminine, and divine masculine, great too. But divine feminine is, I think, really what's needed.
Yeah, beautiful.
Agreed.
Yeah. Diana, did you want to add anything?
What I'm taking from this is a real desire to be awake in the midst, to stay awake in the midst of all this crazy bombardment of stuff. And so that, I mean, it just brings me back to some practice that I have to keep coming back to myself, or I get caught up in somebody else's dream, you know, somebody else's conspiracy theory, or and Barbara knows this, I've dedicated a lot of my life to being an improviser and using improv for real life. The mindset of improv is like standing in the middle of a gyroscope where you're here with myself. I'm aware of this, I'm aware of this, and I'm aware of this, but I'm at a still point in the middle where I'm able to be present with the scene I'm in, with talking to, like this scene, I can be present with it. Thankfully, the house is quiet. I live in a very busy household. But it's just a daily thing, because at the heart of it for me is always there's some grief. We just grieve what we want to be happening that isn't happening. And so I think my practice is trying to get bigger and bigger so I can hold what I need to hold and not lose my footing. And when I do lose my footing, because I will, to just count on friends and my own practice and following love. Where's love leading me? So I really appreciate being invited here and part of the discussion. So I want to hear more.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks. And I love how you presented that, Diana. Thank you. And what Billy wrote in the chat was, what you focus on, you get more of, which is totally true.
Yes, true.
And I've heard that comment, you know, what you feed grows.
Yeah.
So, and back to what Doreen was saying, you know, we all have our own story, our own imagination of this is what's happening. And if you like it, then do more of that. And if you don't like it, find something else that you do like to focus on, because really that's all we have is the right now. You know? And do I like where I'm at right now? Am I feeling good, or am I not feeling good? And if I'm not, you know, I can change that somehow, shift an attitude or whatever. But you know, like you all mentioned, it's not always that easy. And it is remembering, you know, coming back to yourself and remembering to kind of get centered. And I think, you know, being here with this group is helpful. You know, it really is helpful to have other people to share this kind of stuff with. So, Katina, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I want to respond to the thing about grieving. I think we're all grieving something every day.
Oh, every day.
Every single day, we're all grieving. It's the underlying cause of our discontent. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. And we go through stages of grief all the time, from denial and anger and, you know, acceptance, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
But people think grieving because somebody died. You know, but it's grieving so many things on so many levels.
Yeah.
That really screws us up.
Yeah.
So great subject to bring up, to mention. Grieving.
Yeah, I think of it sometimes it's just longing what we don't have.
Well, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And since we're cursed with empathy, we also grieve for other losses.
Right.
We're so aware, of others' pain and suffering, and
Right.
grief has a sweet side too. It's,
Yeah.
it's not all despair, but
Right.
it's a lot to hold.
Yeah.
I
Strength and
remember tearing up
perspective is
at
to
a
hold
Charmin
it.
cartoon. I was gonna say, I remember tearing up at a Charmin ad one time. It was just like, oh,
Right. And Julie wrote in the post, someone once said that if you miss a plane, oh, a phone call, you can grieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I remember when I had my thyroid removed years ago, when after I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And surprisingly, after the surgery, I started grieving, and it took me a minute to realize what I was actually even feeling and going through. And then I realized it's okay. I'm going to grieve losing one of my body parts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So
Mhm.
I was okay with that, but it made sense to me. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Doreen.
I don't know. Now I changed my mind about how I want to articulate this. I was trying to contemplate like what is this grief, and of course it's different for all of us, but of course there's a collective grief, and I think there's been a lot of death energy on this planet for a very long time, and like an anti-life
mhm.
thing going on, and maybe what we are tearing about is that is what's dissolving, and we're starting to realize what it is to just be alive, and to not have to be like coping all the time, not being bombarded with like well, I guess the toxic masculine stuff, all the control and the
Mhm.
oppression and the violence, and the bulldozing of life, and life not mattering, um, because it hasn't mattered for a long time in a sort of a mass way. We have all this massive loss of life, extinctions and whatnot, and yeah, we're trying to get to the top and float for a while. And I think it's healthy as part of the process to grieve what we feel has been lost. Although I like to focus on nothing's ever lost, not money, not a life. It is being set up to come back as even more.
Yeah.
In multitudes, multiples, more life, more happiness, more family, more fun, more friends, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be whatever we decide it is.
Mhm.
And that's about imagining too, Durin. It's like remembering what's real and remembering what isn't real. Like we are each other. We're not separate. We are the hologram. Gino.
Therein, I want to order you not to speak again. Just kidding. Anyway, I'm a toxic masculine guy. You'll have to forgive me. No, divine feminine is well needed. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of times I'll hear from especially spiritual people, uh, everything's going to be all right. Don't worry, it's all right. But no, that's not how it works. We have to take action. When I say action, sure, you can go out and demonstrate and stuff, but we all know you have to do the inner work. That's action. The more we transform ourselves, I've been saying this for several years, the more we are going to be good, and we're going to affect others for the better too. A walking example, but in a really good way. So we all have a lot of work to do. I'm positive of that. So everything will be all right if we all get on it. That's it.
Thank you, Gina.
Thanks, Gino.
Sure.
Yeah. Durin?
Gina, I'm going to talk again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're running out of time, but for some reason, I feel like I want to share where I personally landed with protesting and demonstrations. Whenever because of course we all feel the need to protest and demonstrate sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can feel cathartic when we see people protesting for what we want to protest for or against. So regarding protesting, and the feeling for me, it's a feeling like I want to discipline somebody. It's like somebody here needs some discipline, right? Now I realize, though, however, discipline really is only healthy and productive if there's a heart connection between the two. If there's not, don't even go there because you're just feeding the crap. That's where I landed with it. Discipline works when you love your child, you love your pet, you love your mate, your friends. You want to bother to discipline them or let them know that you are not happy with their behavior. But when it's something that doesn't care about you, now you're just feeding, they love it. They love it when people feed into pay attention to them, knowing full well that they don't give a fuck.
Mhm.
So I guess protests fall under that same thing. Someone doesn't care. It's better to focus on what you do want, like our discussion today.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. I hadn't thought of that, Doreen, but thank you. Yeah, that makes
Well,
sense.
Maybe we can invent a new kind of protest focusing on pro.
Yeah, there we go.
Signs that say what I want, like peace, happiness, kindness, sharing, equality. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great discussion today, and thanks everybody for joining us. And we hope to see you next week. Any final comments before we sign off?
Love you all.